class. Today we're going to take module 2. Module 2 is about assertiveness. Actually, assertiveness is dealing with how you communicate with your subordinate, how you communicate with your followers, your SAD. Introduction. Even if we want to act assertively, we may not be able to if we do not recognize the difference in styles of communication. So here is about styles of communication. We have different styles of communication. Now you as a supervisor, you have to have the knowledge of how can you communicate, what type of style can you use when you are communicating, interacting with your readers. There are three types of communication: passive, aggressive, and assertive communication. So we are going to see these three different types so that we understand how can we entertain communication with our followers. Passive communication: not expressing feelings or need, ignoring your own personal right and allowing others to do so, deferring to others for decision making in order to avoid tension or conflict. So this type of communication, this style of communication, you are reserving, keeping yourself your feeling, your need. You are ignoring your own personal right, but you are allowing others to do so to you. Why are you doing this? See, the reason is that because you are avoiding tension or conflict. Is it right to do so? We are going to see that. Verbal characteristics. How do you know that you have this type of style? You are always using a passive communication. So verbal characteristics are going to give you as a sample. Beat around the bush when you are speaking. You don't want to go straight to the point. Hesitant, third with pauses, frequent throat clearing, quiet, often dropping away. See, you have what you want to say, but you don't want to say it. You are avoiding it. Non-verbal characteristics: looking down when speaking, wringing hand when speaking, covering your mouth with hand, crossing arms for protection. So these signs, if you see yourself when we have to express, that means you understand that your feelings and your need, if you want to express them, they may bring tension, create conflict, then you are trying to avoid them by using these characteristics on you. Thinking style: I don't count. My feelings, needs, or thoughts are less important than yours. People will think badly of me or not like me. If I say no, then I may upset someone or be responsive for upsetting them. You see, this is what you are keeping in your mind. So if you see that you have these particular characteristics in you, then you see that you have a passive communication style, which is not good for a supervisor. You can't say that I don't count. No, you are a supervisor. You have a position that your position counts. Your feelings, need, thought are not important unless it's about you. But if it's about the company, because the supervisor represents the company, so you are there for the interest of the company. So you have to express. You can't use passive communication being a supervisor when you have to represent the interests or to be there for the interests of the company. Pay off. Does it pay? passive communication style. Praised for being selfless or good sport, rarely blamed if things go wrong because you're avoiding to express your feeling. So if there is any problem, you you say that I'm self. Because they have no usually shown initiative, you don't want to take initiative, but you as supervisor have to take initiative. Others will protect and look after them. So this you're seeing what can come as a result if someone is using the passive communication. The cost now. Sometimes prone to build up of stress or anger that can explode in a really aggressive manner because you keep the feelings is burning within you. Others often make unreasonable demands of them, restrict self into other people's image of a lovable good person, loss of self-esteem because you don't want to express, you are introverts. You don't want to express your feeling, you need to keep them because you are avoiding problems, you are avoiding wrong conflict. This is about passive communication. Second type of communication, aggressive communication. That is the second one. Stand up for personal right and express thought, feelings, and beliefs in a way that is usually inappropriate and always violate the rights of the other person. You see, aggressive is opposite of passive. Now here, this person with this style of communication can express his right, his feelings, his thought, his belief, but the way you are expressing them is inappropriate, so that at such extent you violate the rights of the other person. That is aggressive communication style. Let's see some characteristics in terms of verbal characteristics. Strident, sarcastic, or condescending voice, often abrupt, clipped, often fast, emphasizing, blaming word. You see, if you see that in you, you have this type of verbal characteristics, now we understand that you have an aggressive communication, which mostly results in short temper. Nonverbal characteristics, intruding in the other person's space, starting the other person out. You see, gesture such as pointing, fist clenching, jaws set firm. These are the nonverbal characteristics, but you can read them on the body language of someone. Then you understand that here is about aggressive communication. Thinking style. I will get you before you have a chance of getting me. I'm out for number one. The world is a battleground, and I am out to win. You see, so if you have this, then you understand that this is about aggressive communication. Does it pay? Get others to do the bidding. Things tend to go the way, less vulnerable, feel powerful. See, this is what is coming out when you are using aggressive communication. The price now. Behavior creates enemies and raise resentment in those around them. This can result in a sense of paranoia and fear. A person who is always trying to control others can find it difficult to relax. A relationship will tend to be based on negative emotions and are likely to be unstable. Why? Because of the inappropriate way of giving your feedback to people who are in front of you. This is about aggressive communication. Assertive communication. A way of communicating feelings, thoughts, and beliefs in an open, honest manner without violating the rights of others. So assertive communication is in between of passive communication and aggressive communication. How can you create a balance? You express your feelings, your thoughts, your belief in an appropriate way without hurting others. Let's see some verbal characteristics of assertive communication style. Be firm, relaxed voice, fluent, few hesitations, steady even pace, tone in middle range, rich and warm. So you speak in such a way that you can't hurt by your word, a term that are coming from your mouth, people around you. Non-verbal characteristics: receptive listening, direct eye contact without stirring, erect, balanced, open body stance, open hand movement. You see, this is your body language when you have an assertive communication style. You listen to others, you look them into the eyes, you are balanced in terms of your body stance, your movement are open, you don't manifest anything which is negative, which can hurt other people. Thinking style: I will not allow you to take advantage of me, and I will not attack you for being who you are. So you know who you are, you know what your follower is, then you bring in a balance so that you are yourself, you are not hurt, and your follower also is not hurt by what is coming from your mouth as an assertive communication style. Pay off: the more someone stands up for themselves and act in a manner they respect, the higher their self-esteem. You see, so you have to create confidence. You have to create self-esteem. Why? Because you are a leader. Remember, you are a supervisor and others as subordinate. Chances of getting what they want out of life improves greatly. You see, there is something that you want to get from your followers. We said it, the leader is there to influence, to show the direction, and to take others to accomplish the goals. Expressing oneself directly at a time means that resentment does not build up. So in terms of price, friend, family may have benefited from a person being passive, and many sabotage the new assertiveness. You see, if you are passive, people will be on your shoulders. But when you are assertive, then they'll start sabotaging you. So you see, always people want to take advantage of others. Beliefs and values held since childhood are being shaped, and this can be frightening. Yes, you are learning every day. You are a supervisor. Then you are not a supervisor. This is a new proposition. Now, how do you manage your position? There is no guarantee of outcome. There is often pain involved in being assertive. Why? Because the misunderstanding of other people. Here, in this case, of your followers. Assertiveness and self-confidence. Know the facts relating to the situation and have the details to hand. You see, in communication, you make sure that you understand the situation. We saw it in decision making and problem solving. Understand the situation, have the required information, the details before opening your mouth and start intervening. Be ready for anticipate other people's behavior and prepare your responses. You are a supervisor, always be ahead. This is a leader, leadership. You see first the vision. You need the provision to reach the vision, whereas your followers don't see this vision. Always be ahead of them. Prepare and use good open questions. We saw it in and 4, how you prepare your communication, how you filter the word that will be using in your communication. Recondition and practice your own new reactions to aggression. If you have people, we saw that you are as a shepherd and you have people, it's like a shepherd who is running sheep. You see, the sheep, they've got different behaviors. When we saw it with the workers, you have different level of maturity. So you are dealing with people with different level of maturity. So how do you communicate with them? It won't be the same. You have to communicate based on the level of maturity of each and everyone. Have faith that your own abilities and style will ultimately work if you let them. You see, you have some ability. That's why you are learning this subject, supervisory management, so that you get not only information but the knowledge to be applied. Because remember, first you have the knowledge, it gives you understanding, then you become wise. Feel sympathy for bullies. They actually need it. Yeah, people need help, but they don't know the level of the help that they need. But you, as a supervisor, you have to learn each and every subordinate behavior so that you know how to help them. General techniques of assertiveness. When practicing assertiveness techniques, it is important to remember what assertiveness is and its importance in the communication process. Assertiveness is a balanced response, being neither passive nor aggressive. These are some techniques. Fogging. What is fogging? Fogging is to receive what is coming from others and to know how to hold them. Fogging is a useful technique if people are behaving in a manipulative or aggressive way. See, you are receiving from the behavior of others. Are they do they want to manipulate you? Are they aggressive to you? Rather to arguing back, fogging aims to give a minimal, calm response using terms that are placating but not defensive, while act at the same time not agreeing to meet demand. You see, you know what they want. So your response is not to fight them back, is not being defensive, but you keep the balance, not agreeing to their demand because you know what is the best for the company. So your answers always will be or must sideline with the interest of the company. But the problem is, how are you going to express your response to your followers? Fogging involves agreeing with any truth that may be contained within statement, even if critical. We'll see soon about criticism. It's not always bad. Stack record technique. How do you stick to the interest of the company when you are responding to the demand of your subordinate or your followers? The stack record techniques employs the key assertive skill of calm and persistent. So your answers, you calm when you are giving response. You're replying to your workers, to their demand, because you know the interest of the company and you stick with it. It is involves repeating what you want time and time again without raising the tone or your voice, becoming angry, irritated, or involved in side issue. For instance, you want them to remain for overtime because the work is not didn't finish. You had already in your mind the level of accomplishment based on the progress, but workers want to go home. How are you going to deal with this issue? So you'll stick with what you want, regardless of all the reasons that they were giving, in a good way, without getting them to be aggressive or to be angry with you. The key is to stay calm, be very clear in what you want, stick to the point, and not give up. Accept the compromise only if you are happy with the outcome. Positive inquiry. It's a simple technique for handling positive comment, such as praise and compliment. Everyone wants to be praised. Everyone needs compliment. But there are some reaction to this with different uh, characteristics. Like for people, introvert people, extrovert people. You see, introvert people, they want to express themselves. Extrovert people, these are the people they want to express themselves. So with introvert people, would be uh, it will be difficult for him, for instance, to accept a compliment among others. So how do you, as a supervisor, to do it? Because it's very important. It can also encourage others. For instance, if it was a good performance, now you throw the compliment on him. Now he must accept it because it will help others also to focus on the performance so that they will improve. It is important to give positive feedback to others when appropriate, but also to react appropriately to positive feedback that you receive. You also supervisor when they compliment you, so accept. Positive inquiry is used to find out more details about a compliment or praise given or agreed with it. So compliment is very important, is also a type of motivation. What about negative inquiry? Negative inquiry is a way to respond to more negative exchanges, such as receiving criticism. So when people are criticizing you, it's not uh, a way of you to stand as a supervisor and start fighting. So it could be aggressive communication. We'll see how you as a supervisor can react to criticism. Dealing with criticism can be difficult. Remember that any criticism received is just somebody's opinion. Yes, criticism is someone else's opinion about you, maybe about your performance, about the way you react, your actions, their opinion. So this can affect you, but can help you to think twice on what they are saying. Is it true? Is it wrong? Do you agree with it? Negative inquiry is used to find out more about criticism comment. Find out the comment to the criticism, and is a good alternative to more aggressive or angry responses to criticism. Demands and criticism. Dealing with demands. How do you deal with demands? Dealing with unacceptable demand can be daunting experience, and having the courage to be assertive in such circumstances is not easy for some people. But you as a supervisor always will be receiving demand from your followers. Now, how do you deal with those demands? When facing with a demand, consideration should be given to the following. There are people who can sometimes place unreasonable demand, expectations, and unfair burdens upon those holding particular roles. Now, how do you deal with these issues? Everyone has the right not to accept the demand associated with such people. So you are not there to accept the demand. As we said, we have to know how. Remember, always keep in mind you are a company. You are there to represent the company and to serve the interests of the company. Everyone has the right not to accept the demand associated with such people. So you don't have always the right to please them. Are you going to please your managers, or are you going to please your subordinate? You have the right to say no without having justified yourself. When someone feels that you have a right to his time or effort, take your stand on your position as a supervisor and act accordingly. In making demand, people often resort to passive or manipulative responses and may also assume a dependency upon the effort of others. Dealing with criticism. When receiving criticism, take time to decide whether it is genuine criticism or whether there is some other reason for it. Think about the comment that you are receiving, because we said it already. Criticism is only somebody's opinion. Acknowledge the criticism by repeating or reflecting it. Think about what they're saying. Think about the comment. Check. Align yourself with it and see if there is it true, is it wrong. As with any feedback, it's important to thank the person providing it. Thank them, because criticism can help you to readjust or to adjust as a supervisor. Maybe remember we saw with jewelry, hidden self, open self. Is sometimes you don't know yourself, but they know something on you. So by criticizing you, you can discover yourself and react accordingly. If the criticism includes an element of truth, try to avoid the comment response of lashing back with counter criticism, which is not good. It is aggressiveness. Criticism with a hint of truth tend to be wounding, but it may offer it in the hope that it will be used constructively. It can construct, it can help you. Compliment and listening skills. Compliment. Some people find the giving and receiving of compliment difficult or embarrassing and may feel the need to either shrug them off or retain them, like introvert people. Complimenting is a positive way of giving support, showing approval, and increasing the other person's self-confidence. Workers need compliment. If a compliment is rejected, the person giving it may feel embarrassed and discounted and might be less likely to pay a compliment in the future. This is, for instance, about your supervisor. If someone throws a compliment on you, your subordinate, accept that compliment so that next time you can do it again. When you are complimented, thank the person giving the compliment and accept it, whether or not you actually agree with it. When giving compliment, ensure it is genuine, not flattery. Ways to improve listening skills. You are there to interact. So now the time that you are receiving feedback, how do you behave? Ways to become a more effective listener. You must be an effective listener as a leader. Maintain eye contact. Focus on using inviting body language such as making eye contact, uncrossing your arms, and turning your shoulders so you are facing the person speaking to you. Avoid thinking about what you are going to say next. It is distractful. Try not to get ahead of the speaker by finishing his or her thought in your mind before the person is finished speaking. Let him speak. Keep quiet, only listen. Participate in active listening by encouraging the speaker with nod or affirmative words. Because when you are listening, is constructive. You need the feedback from your followers for everything that